Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another vlog. Welcome to the CarFreak 458. What a morning, eh? It's exactly 6:20. It's already getting hot in Dubai. The summer is about to be here. But nonetheless, we have one of the, let's say, forgotten cars. One of the cars that, I don't know, when it came out, it had a big kind of a fuzz. It made a big fuzz in the industry as a prototype first of all, and then later on when it came into the production. And somehow it, people, they kind of slide it under the carpet and forgot about it, forgot about the features, forgot about the how good the luxury sedan is. Mainly because of some other rivals that were cheaper at that time. There was some discontinuity in terms of the production, as well as the getting it back on the factory tracks and then producing the car. A few issues here and there, but nonetheless, we're gonna do a full review today of 2011 Aston Martin Rapide. And as you can see, we're gonna take a little bit of a walk around the car first, and then we're gonna do some of the insides and interior kind of features, and some facts and stats, and then we're gonna drive the car and see how this 12-cylinder beast performs on the road. The car came to the garage, and we did some small repairs on it, but yeah, without any further ado, let's start with the exterior and the design. When you look at the car first from the front, you think it's DB9. You can easily mistake the car with a DB9, because at the end of the day it is built on a DB9 kind of look, chassis, and then certainly you can say that it belongs to the Aston Martin family, with this kind of luxury front that you have here. I hope that you will be able to hear me. It's a bit of windy, but nonetheless. So as I said, like, the front is very much the Aston Martin signature front when you see, and then only when you come from this side you can see that it's kind of extended, it's stretched, or would you say like it's on the steroids. But that's where the first kind of significant thing comes. That's the pillar which is between the two doors. The guys from the Aston Martin, they kind of made it underneath the glass, so the glass looks like it's from the one piece when you look from the kind of a back or from the far, which gives it a nice and lean shape over there, and it's kind of a real pleasure to wash the car, because there is no that pillar, right, that you need to take care of. Apart from that, it has the 20-inch rims on it, and from the back also looks more or less like DB9 here, as you can see. A lovely back or the rear side of the car, with two exhaust tips sticking over there, a huge tires, as I said, and the beautiful four doors, as well as the trims that are coming alongside as a chrome, and the significant trim here on the side with a vent that is fully functional, as well as the blinker light here. It has also two vents on the hood, as you can see over there, and the grille that is split into two parts right in front of us. A crystal key, basically, that is a bit damaged because the car is 2011, as I said. So we're gonna head inside and talk about the interior a little bit, but before that, there were a couple of trims, and a couple of add-ons. Usually, as a standard, the Aston Martin Rapide came with kind of gray calipers. This is the add-on option, the red calipers, as you can see here. And then, as I said, let's head inside. The doors are the very kind of popular and significant, and I'll show you, as they have a 12-degree angle, and they used to call them a swan doors. So once you open the door, it kind of goes slightly upwards, which is a really nice feature. Not that it helps you to get in the car or out of the car, to be quite honest, and there is no easy or a nice way to do that with Aston Martin Rapide, but it looks cool at least. This particular car, as I said, 2011, so basically the driver's door, there we go, there's a guy. So before we were interrupted by the guys who are probably maintaining the gardens here and whatnot, I was explaining about the doors. So yeah, that's a cool feature. But then on this 2011, as I said, there is no easy way to get in and out, especially the driver's door. I think some of the hinges, they are slightly broken, but hey, what to do. Ooh, interior, as mentioned, there is no nice way of getting in or out of this car. Now you're probably going to be able to hear me better, but let's go around some of the features here. The key, kind of ignition for the key here, and then you have the driving modes, parking, reverse, of course, neutral in the drive, a simple kind of infotainment system. That's one of the things that has been outdated even for the 2011 models. It has a flap screen as well here, which is quite thick, not that nice and whatnot, but you know, one of the features that I really don't like about it. On the other hand, the AC control panel here was a gift from the Volvo to the guys from Aston Martin. Hence, it's pretty decent, pretty nice AC with some of the lights feature, you know, AC control, the you know, the level of how hard you want to use the AC, or and then you have some of the, you know, features here, you know, for the infotainment, like the navigation, phone, radio, menu, and some of the modes. And then one of the buttons that I really like here, this is the suspension. I think it has 5 different ways of you know, kind of adjusting the suspension. It has the sports mode, which increases the response on the throttle. It increases the transmission kind of a sensibility, so it doesn't change that often the gears, especially doesn't change the gears when you're in the middle of the corner and whatnot. The traction control off, something that I still didn't, you know, kind of use. Actually, I didn't switch it off because this car itself is pretty much happy tail, as one would say, right? But it has enough horsepower, and then, as I said, it's a you know, it's a rear-wheel drive, but a little bit more about that once we open the hood. It is a luxury, so you know, Aston Martin didn't spare any buck apart from this hideous screen and infotainment system, to be honest. But on the interior and the leather, for example, it's beautiful seats with engraving here, which are saying the Rapide, you know, stitching, red stitching, white seats, as I said, with the leather panels and the leather here as well, and then kind of Alcantara ceiling, which is beautiful. The back seats, on the other hand, there is a central console for the back seats to adjust your AC and whatnot, but then back seats are good for the 2 children, nothing more than that. It's not that comfortable. But then the thing that is pretty nice is the steering wheel that welcomes you as soon as you come into the car. A nice Aston Martin steering wheel with the floppy pedal shifters here. The do look and feel very kind of luxurious. Again, some of the trims on the dash, and then the very familiar, for Aston Martin people and lovers, dials here that are going kind of in opposite direction. The RPM goes from the bottom on the right way, and then the speedometer goes on the other one. Temperature, as well as the fuel gauges, and some of the board on the left and right side over there. Some of the normal buttons on the side of the driver's seat for the mirrors, and adjustment for the for the windows, and adjustment for the mirrors. Apart from that, very unusual, but then probably something that Aston Martin practices, but I wouldn't know, because I never drove Aston before this one. The commands for your seat, that you can adjust it in a different ways, as well as the memory. Plus, on top of these things, you can say that this car is cool, especially in Dubai, because it has the cooling the seats, as well as the heating you don't use in Dubai, but yes, they're the cooling of the seats. Some of the compartments here, for example, that you can leave some of the storage, some of your stuff. And then this thing here. This car is a luxury sedan, but in front, I guess, what they were thinking, like, yeah, just remember this thing, right? So whatever they used to think is like, okay, there will be a CEO or a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever it is who's going to be sitting in the back, which is not that comfortable, and he will have a driver, right? So the driver will not have anyone next to him, hence he doesn't need two cup holders. One is more than enough, even though there are two seats in the front, but one cup holder. No, wait. Half of the cup holder. Because it's so small that it cannot fit a can of Pepsi, for example. It cannot fit Starbucks coffee or any other coffee, as a matter of fact, right? If it's not a small shot of espresso, which probably sinks in here. But those are the small things that we can nag and then do whatever about. But we have to mention, right? And a pretty normal air vents on this side. And one of the good things is the Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is 1,000 watts, if I'm not mistaken. And then you will see when we start the car, those ones there in the corners, they kind of pop up and gives you that kind of feeling of the luxury, and sound system is really good. I mean, no complaints about it. So let's head outside and see what's underneath that hood. Well, as I said, it's a beautiful day, actually beautiful morning in Dubai, right? Especially in my community, this is where I live. But then look who we got here, Mr. Seshan. If some of you remember from my previous videos, Seshan was in it, but it's not his autobiography, so we're not going to talk about him much. He's here to hold the bloody hood that doesn't want to stay. So I guess 2011, it's it's paying its price for the kind of age or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it doesn't stand. That's why I like sometimes these with the sticks that you can just pop up and it holds the hood. Nonetheless, we have Sesha now, luckily. If it was only me, I don't know how would I record. Probably it would be something like but yeah, luckily not. The heart, let's talk about the heart, right? As you can see, a 6 liters V12 hand-built Aston Martin naturally aspirated engine, a beauty, a symphony. There is a very famous they call it Philharmonia, whatever the orchestra is in Vienna, which brings me to the next point, that this car was not built in England, because the first production for the first few years was in Austria. It was produced and assembled in Graz in Austria, and after that they discontinued that one and moved it back to the UK. But nonetheless, as I said, the hot 6-liter V12 engine, 470 horsepower, this first batch of the cars before they would move it to the UK, and then later on you got 550 and 570 with Rapide S and whatnot. But then today we are talking about this one that has 600 Newton meters of torque. It goes 0 to 100 in 5.1 seconds, which is slightly more than the DB9, which goes in 4.8 seconds. But don't forget that this car is nearly 200 kilograms heavier than the DB9. So to be precise, it's 190 kilograms heavier than the DB9. And then if you put, for example, Session in the DB9, who has approximately, I don't know, 85 kgs, and you put me in this one, which I have 110 kgs, you can add a little bit more, and hence we are crossing that 200, you know, sweet number. And yet only 0.3 seconds slower. Pretty decent, right? Nonetheless, some of the blacks here that you can see, it is hand built Aston Martin. Final inspection was done by the George Krajacic. This guy must be Croatian, Serbian, or something like that. He ain't UK, he's not Austrian. But yeah, this is the guy who did the final inspection. There's that plaque, and then I'll show you something very cool. Thank you, Session, for holding the hood. Yeah, there is no nice way to put that one down, but anyways, I want to show you something here as well. They really did think of, you know, putting the special kind of signature and whatnot. So you have a plaque here as well which says Rapide, and then underneath it says hand built, yeah, for Aziz S. Al-Raji. That's one of the board members in the company that I'm working for, one of the board members that I'm reporting to. But yeah, it was hand built for him. So you could see that, you know, as I was telling you about the pillar, it kind of is hidden behind, right? Plus, once you open the back door, it does looks nice. The window goes down, and yeah, you have that kind of infotainment system. You have the Bang & Olufsen, as I was telling you about. And then a small infotainment that was also the add-on from the standard. So there is a lot of add-ons on this car, and a lot of boxes that were ticked. But then let's see how comfortable or uncomfortable this car is for people like me. So I don't know how to make it beautiful or not. Okay. Yeah. Oh my god. This is my sitting position in front, and yeah, I mean, yeah, not that much of the space for my head, first of all, not that much of the space for my legs as well, as you can see. Very kind of awkward position of sitting. And then, as I said, there is this kind of screen for the DVD and whatnot in front of me. I don't think I would enjoy much. It's very narrow. I'm sorry for the sounds that I'm making. It's very narrow. It's like very, I don't know. It's not that comfy. You know, they could have put it a little bit, you know, a little bit down. I don't know. It looks nice. It looks beautiful. My kid enjoys it in the past couple of days to go to school runs and whatnot, but this is a nightmare for adult. Some of the touches here, the ashtray with Aston Martin logo, and as I was saying, like, you know, that kind of a central console for the people in the back with some of the storage, some of the, you know, ports over here, the AC. Also, it has the back seat cooling and heating system, and then the lights and a small screen that is really cool. But yeah, there's a pocket here that I don't know what you can put over there. I mean, yeah. Let's start the car and then do a little bit of a drive so that you guys can see and hear this beautiful symphony of the car. I didn't mention probably a few things about while we were having the hood open, right? It has, my god, this is like ridiculous. There is no other way of getting out of this car, but yeah. Oh, I did hit my head on that pillar. I did hit my head on that pillar. Yeah, I did hit my head. Anyways, I didn't mention about the transmission. It's a 6-speed automatic transmission, popularly called Touchtronic. Not the best transmission, but not the worst one, you know. When you compare it with the Mercedes CLS at that time or the Porsche Panamera, it's not bad. I mean, at the end of the day, there was a video on Top Gear as well about the comparison between the Rapide Panamera and Maserati Quattroporte at that time, and yeah, I think this one was the second fastest, so Panamera was slightly faster. But then there comes the price range, right? So when they came out as new, they were like around $200,000 cars, which is like, I don't know, roughly around 700,000-800,000 dirhams. And as I said, they're a little bit forgotten. So nowadays, a good one with a low mileage, with a good history and everything else, you can find for as low as 170,000-180,000 dirhams, which is roughly around 55 to, let's say, $60,000. A bargain, right? Yeah, but you need to put the maintenance cost in that. Anyways, let's start the car and let's take it for a spin so that we can wrap up this video. We can wrap up this morning because I need to drop also my kid to the school later on, and I don't want him to be late, which he is usually. Okay, as I said, let's take it for a spin. So the key goes in here. Lovely, lovely. It's a music to my ears. As I said, it's like a Philharmonia over there. You can hear that rumbles from the V12 engine, and it is really, really nice, the sound. So as I mentioned before, you have the driving modes here. So we're gonna start with a normal driving mode. Let me just increase a little bit AC because it's getting hot, and let's hit the road so that we can, you know, I can give you some of the impressions and feel of how the car is while you're driving, even though I've been driving the car for a couple of days, as I mentioned. So there'll be a little bit of a blah sound because of the surface that we are in here, and Seshan is going to buckle up himself because we don't want to drive with someone not buckled up and with this beep beep noise. So while Seshan is buckling up, let me just switch on the audio system as I was mentioning to you, and then you can see how it does rises. Don't worry, Seshan, over there in the corners. So here we go. I think that's a pretty decent angle. So you switch it on and it does kind of a comes up, Bang & Olufsen. Very nice audio system. I don't want to play anything because of the copyrights, but let me just give you a bit of a feel. There is a aux cable. You can forget about the Bluetooth and all these kind of things. I think this Apple Care or whatever came in later on models. It was produced between 2010 and 2020. They stopped the production of the same, but then again, you know, as I said, not the best infotainment and whatnot. I don't know, any kind of a song. Here we go. 1 second. that much about the music One Night in Dubai, which we're not gonna play because of the copyrights, but just to give you a glance of the you know, sound system. Off we go, yeah. And you can hear that noise. I mean, you have a long bonnet in front of you. It has that, you know, 12 cylinders placed in the V with you know, 6,000 RPM, 600 Newton meters, 470 horsepower, all on the rear wheels, which makes me super happy because I am you know, kind of a rear wheel drive lover. And you know, oh, we have one slight problem, so there you go, we need to stop for a second. I did not close the bonnet properly. Alright, with the bonnet closed and the beeping noise off, we just got locked by the beast. When it came out, personally, you know, and always, as I said, like, arguably this was a better looking car than the hideous Quattroporte that I don't like the front end, for example. I don't like the fake air vents on the side on the Quattroporte, and certainly I don't like that white elephant of Porsche Panamera in the first models over there. I'm not the biggest fan of that. The new models are fine, and I do like the shape and the back and all these things, but that maybe will come in one of the future videos if we get the Panamera to record. The new one, of course, the old one, I'm not a big fan. This was something that kind of set the new standards when it comes to the luxury segment of the sedans or the, you know, four-door supercars. It looks mean. It looks like a DB9, as I said. It certainly drives, you know, almost like one. There's no clutches and whatnot when it comes to this 6-speed automatic Touchtronic gearbox, and you know that the sound is, you know, pretty nice. It's not like luxurious like a Rolls-Royce that you cannot. The only thing that you can hear is the you know, AC, right? But on the other hand, it has that V12, it has that symphony that you can hear when you just put a little bit of the throttle, and it is like very nice. I really do, you know, appreciate that one. So sport mode, different suspension settings, as I said, everything is there. It does feel very nice during the drive, and it is pretty kind of agile for its weight. One thing I probably forgot to mention is it has 90 liters tank, so, and fuel consumption as per the factory, the combined one is around 15.8, 16 liters. I would say it's 15 on the open road and more of 20-ish, 21, 22 if you are in the city, and if you go, like, you know, drive and stop and whatnot, right? But again, depends on how you drive the car, and you know, with that age, the certain fuel consumption goes up, of course. Maintenance is certainly one thing to think about when it comes to this car. It's not cheap. It comes into the same luxury segment as the Rolls-Royce or the Bentley, for example. It is what it is, right? You have to pay the price for this sound. You have to pay the price for, you know, 470 horsepower in your sedan, but only if you are sitting in the front. I wouldn't recommend you to sit in the back. You could see that I hit my head earlier on. So yeah, I mean, let's get outside of my community and then just stretch its legs a bit, so you know, that probably do some of the shots from outside as well. Alright, so let's get outside of my community and then just stretch its legs a bit, so you know, that probably do some of the shots from outside as well. Probably do some of the shots from outside as well. guys, that was a bit of a drive, safe and sound back home in the garage. It's been a wonderful you know, recording this car. Huge thanks to Seshan who helped me out with some of the shots. I'm really sorry for the noise of the jet fighters, but yeah, that's it for now. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this kind of a forgotten gem, or you know, kind of a lost soldier, you know, the car that got kind of forgotten from the lot of car guys and then the community. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel CarFreak 458. Peace.